Hannah Park stood at the school gate. Her hands gripped the straps of her backpack so tight that her knuckles turned white. The morning sun felt too bright after years spent in space stations and underground bunkers. Just another mission, she whispered to herself. Just another battle. But this was not a battle. This was Seoul Science High School, and Hannah was no longer Soldier Park of the Earth Defense Forces. Now she was just a student with a military-grade neural implant in her brain and reflexes that could kill before her mind even processed the threat. The school bell rang. Students rushed past her, laughing and talking about normal things. Tests, friends, TV shows. None of them looked at the skinny girl with short black hair and a scar along her jaw. None of them knew what she had seen, what she had done. Hannah took a deep breath and walked through the gate. The office lady gave Hannah her schedule and a fake smile. "We are so happy to have you back, Miss Park. The government program for returning soldiers is very important to us." Hannah nodded. Her file said she was 18, but she felt 100 years old as she walked down the hall to her first class. Room 103. Advanced Physics. Hannah opened the door, and 30 pairs of eyes turned to look at her. The teacher, a woman named Ms. Yoon, waved her in. "Class, this is our new student, Hannah Park. She is joining us under special circumstances. Please make her feel welcome." Special circumstances. That was one way to put it. 3 years ago, when the Voidborn ships first appeared in Earth's sky, the military had been desperate. They took anyone who could hold a gun, even kids. Hannah found an empty seat next to a boy with glasses who was solving math problems that had nothing to do with the physics class. "I'm Do-Yun," he said without looking up. "You're the soldier girl." It wasn't a question. Hannah didn't answer. Ms. Yoon started teaching about quantum fields. Hannah tried to focus, but her implant kept scanning the room for threats. The boy next to her, Do-Yun, saw her struggling with the lesson and slid his notes toward her. "Thanks," Hannah whispered. A girl with perfect hair at the front of the class turned around and glared at them. The implant in Hannah's brain identified the expression as hostile. After class, that same girl stepped in front of Hannah in the hallway. Her name tag read Ju Lee, class president. "Listen, Park," Ju said. "This is the top school in Seoul. We all worked hard to get here. We don't need some damaged war hero messing things up for the rest of us." Hannah stared at the girl. On the battleship, she would have put Ju on the floor for talking to her like that. But this wasn't the battleship. "I'm just here to finish school," Hannah said. "Government orders." "Well, keep your government orders away from me and my friends, and stop distracting Do-Yun. He's going to win the National Science Prize this year." A loud crash came from down the hall. Someone had dropped a stack of metal lunch trays. Hannah's body moved before her mind could stop it. She dropped to a crouch. Her hand reached for a weapon that wasn't there. Her eyes scanned for cover. The neural implant flooded her system with adrenaline. Students backed away from her. Some laughed. Others looked scared. Ju smirked. "See what I mean? Damage." Hannah slowly stood up, her face burning with shame. This was worse than any battlefield. At least in war, she knew who the enemy was. Here, she was the alien. The bell rang for the next class. Students pushed past her as if she wasn't there. All except Do-Yun, who waited a moment before speaking. "Your neural response time is impressive," he said. "Is it the standard military model, or did they upgrade you because you were younger?" Hannah stared at him. He wasn't afraid. He was curious. "They said I was special," she answered. "Now I have to go to math class." Do-Yun nodded. "Me too. I'll show you the way." As they walked, Hannah realized this mission might be harder than fighting the Voidborn. But perhaps, just perhaps, she had found one person who might understand. The lunch bell rang, and students poured into the cafeteria. Hannah stood in line with her tray, watching how normal kids acted. They pushed, they laughed, they complained about the food. None of them knew what real hunger felt like. On the battlefield, Hana and her squad had sometimes gone days with only nutrient bars. Once, during the Voidborn attack on Moon Base 7, they had survived 2 weeks on emergency rations while waiting for rescue. "Are you going to take the fish or just stare at it all day?" the lunch lady asked. Hana blinked and took the fish. She found an empty table in the corner where she could sit with her back to the wall. Old habits from the war. She was halfway through her meal when a girl with a bright smile sat down across from her. "Hi, I'm Minji. We're in the same homeroom." The girl pushed a small cake toward Hana. "Want this? I'm on a diet." Hana stared at the cake, then at the girl. Her implant detected no threat in Minji's body language. "Thanks," she said, taking the cake. "So," Minji leaned forward, "is it true that you killed the Voidborn commander with your bare hands?" Hana stopped eating. The cafeteria seemed suddenly quiet, though it wasn't. "Where did you hear that?" "It's all over the news sites. They say you were the youngest soldier to get the Star of Valor." Before Hana could answer, more students gathered around the table. Their faces showed fear mixed with excitement. A tall boy named Tahoe stepped forward. "Show us your implant. Can you, see through walls and stuff?" "No," Hana said. "It's not for seeing. It's for fighting." "Cool." Tahoe grinned. "Like this." He made explosion sounds and pretended to shoot guns with his hands. The noise hit Hana like a physical blow. In her mind, she was back on the battlefield. The screams of dying soldiers. The high-pitched whine of the Voidborn weapons. Her implant activated without her control, sending signals to muscles trained to kill. Her hand crushed the metal fork she was holding. Her vision turned red at the edges. Target acquisition protocols started running through her brain. "Hana." Minji's voice seemed far away. "Are you okay?" With great effort, Hana stood up and walked out of the cafeteria. She found a quiet spot in a stairwell and tried to slow her breathing. The implant had safety measures to prevent her from hurting civilians, but those measures weren't perfect. Malfunction again. Hana looked up to see Do-Yun standing there, a book tucked under his arm. "Not a malfunction," she said. "Working as designed." Do-Yun sat on the step next to her, keeping a careful distance. "The military shouldn't have put those things in kids' brains." "We weren't kids when they finished with us." They sat in silence for a moment. It wasn't uncomfortable. Do-Yun didn't seem to expect her to be normal. "Why are you being nice to me?" Hana finally asked. Do-Yun looked at his book. "My brother joined the defense forces in the first wave. He didn't come back." "I'm sorry," Hana said. "Don't be. You're here. You survived." That's what he would have wanted for his friends too. Do-Yun stood up. "We have science class next. Ms. Yoon is assigning partners for the big project." Hana followed him back to class. As they walked, she saw Ju-woo and her friends watching from the hallway. They were whispering, and Hana could tell they were talking about her. "Just ignore them," Do-Yun said. "Ju-woo thinks being class president makes her the queen." In science class, Ms. Yoon announced the partners for the semester project. When she called out Hana Park and Do-Yun Kim, Ju-woo raised her hand. "Ms. Yoon, I think I should work with Do-Yun. He's the best student, and I'm class president. We would make the best team." Ms. Yoon shook her head. "The pairs are final, Ju-woo. Besides, I think Hana and Do-Yun will work well together." Ju-woo glared at Hana. That look promised trouble. After class, Do-Yun showed Hana the school lab. "What should we make for our project?" he asked. For the first time that day, Hana felt something like hope. "I have some ideas from the war. Things that might help people instead of hurt them." Do-Yun smiled. "I'd like that." 3 days passed. Hana got better at pretending to be normal. She sat with Minji at lunch. She answered questions in class. She even managed to sleep 4 hours each night without nightmares. On Thursday, Hana and Do-Yun met in the school lab to work on their science project. "What if we make a small energy shield?" Do-Yun suggested. "Like the ones on military ships, but tiny." Hana nodded. We could make one that fits on a wristband. It could stop bullets, or protect people from fires and explosions. They worked side by side, Do-hyun designing the power source while Hana drew up plans for the shield emitter. Her military training made her good with weapons, but this was the first time she had used that knowledge to build something that would save lives, not take them. Your hands are very steady, Do-hyun said as he watched her work. They changed us, Hana replied quietly. Made our hands stop shaking even when we're scared. Does that bother you? Hana thought about it. Sometimes I don't know which parts of me are still me, and which parts they made. Before Do-hyun could answer, the lab door opened. Ju walked in with two of her friends. Well, look who it is, Ju said. The freak and the genius. Hana's implant started to hum, warning her of rising stress levels. She ignored it. We're working, Do-hyun said. Do you need something? Ju picked up one of their sketches. An energy shield. Really? You're wasting your talent helping her relive the war. Give that back, Hana said, standing up. Or what? Will you crush my hand like you did that fork? Ju's voice was mean, but Hana's implant detected fear in the girl's body language. Everyone knows you're dangerous. You don't belong here. I have to be here. It's the law. Laws can be changed. My father is on the school board. One word from him and... That's enough. Do-hyun took the sketch from Ju's hand. We have work to do. Ju turned her anger on him. Why are you helping her? She's using you for your brain. That's all. She's a killer, not a student. Something snapped inside Hana. Not anger, something worse. The implant detected her stress and did what it was made to do. It shut down her emotions. Hana felt her face go blank. Her voice became flat and cold, the voice she used during battle reports. Cadet Lee, she said, using military speech, you are interfering with an assigned task. Remove yourself from this area or face consequences. The change in Hana's demeanor made everyone in the room step back. Gone was the quiet girl trying to fit in. In her place stood the soldier, dangerous and empty. What's wrong with you? Ju whispered. Nothing is wrong. Systems functioning as designed. Please leave now. Ju and her friends backed out of the lab. When they were gone, Hana closed her eyes and waited for the implant to release her emotions. It took 3 minutes. Sorry, she finally said to Do-hyun. That happens sometimes. Don't be sorry. Do-hyun looked at her with interest, not fear. Your implant has an emotional dampening system. That's advanced technology. It kept us fighting when things got bad. Hana sat back down, feeling tired. But it makes it hard to be a real person. You are a real person, Do-hyun said firmly. The implant is just a tool, like my glasses. Hana didn't believe him, but it was nice to hear. That night, as Hana lay in bed in her small apartment, her military comm unit beeped. Only one person still used that channel. The message was encrypted, military grade. It read, Soldier Park, VOID BURN activity, DETCTED near your position. Stay alert. Further instructions to FOLO. Captain SUNWO. Hana stared at the ceiling. She had thought the war was far away. Now it seemed it had followed her to school. She would need to be ready. Hana woke up before her alarm. The message from Captain Sunwoo had kept her awake most of the night. Voidborn near her school. It seemed impossible. The alien forces had been pushed back to the outer planets months ago. She checked her military comm unit again. No new messages. Part of her wanted to call Captain Sunwoo and ask for more details, but another part was afraid of what he might say. Focus on your mission, she told herself. Today, her mission was school. In the hallway before first class, Minji ran up to Hana with a big smile. Hana, there's an assembly today about college applications. We get to skip math. Hana nodded, but her mind was elsewhere. She scanned the crowded hallway, looking at each face. Were the Voidborn here, hiding among the students? The aliens could look human if they tried hard enough. Are you listening? Minji waved her hand in front of Hannah's face. Sorry, didn't sleep well. Well, wake up. Everyone's talking about your science project with Do-Yun. Is it true you're making a real energy shield? Before Hannah could answer, Do-Yun appeared with a folder full of papers. I did some calculations last night, he said. If we use a smaller power cell, the shield could fit on a watch. Hannah took the folder. That might work. But a smaller shield means less protection. Protection from what? Minji asked. Are you expecting an attack? The question hit too close to home. Hannah looked away. Do-Yun saved her from answering. It's just a project. But it could help firefighters or police someday. In science class, Ms. Yoon asked each team to share their progress. When it was their turn, Do-Yun explained the basic idea while Hannah showed the class their sketches. A personal shield. Ms. Yoon looked impressed. That's very ambitious. It's her idea, Do-Yun said, pointing to Hannah. She knows how the military ones work. All eyes turned to Hannah. She felt her face get hot. The big shields use too much power, she explained. But a small one could stop bullets or energy blasts for about 10 seconds, long enough to save someone's life. The class was quiet. Then someone in the back asked, Did you use shields in the war? Hannah's mind flashed back to the Battle of Europa, when her squad's shield had failed. Half of them had died in seconds. Yes, she said simply. After class, Ju-woo was waiting for them in the hall. Her face wasn't mean today. She looked worried. Do-Yun, can I talk to you? She glanced at Hannah. Alone. Whatever you have to say, you can say in front of my project partner, Do-Yun replied. Ju-woo sighed. Fine. My father says your shield project might get special attention from the government. Military attention. So? Do-Yun asked. So, once the military gets involved, they take over. They'll use your work for weapons. Hannah knew Ju-woo was right. The military would love a watch-sized shield. We're just making a prototype, Hannah said, for science class. Don't be naive, Ju-woo snapped. You of all people should know how the military works. Before Hannah could respond, the school speakers turned on. All students please report to the auditorium for the college planning assembly. Students filled the hallways, moving toward the auditorium. Hannah followed, but something felt wrong. Her implant was picking up unusual electronic signals. In the auditorium, Principal Kang began talking about college entrance exams. Hannah tried to listen, but the strange signal kept getting stronger. She tapped her wrist, activating her implant's scanning function. There was an unauthorized data transmission coming from somewhere in the school. Not from a phone or computer, something else. Hannah slipped out of her seat and headed for the exit. Do-Yun noticed and followed her. What's wrong? He whispered. Something's not right. I need to check the school's security system. They left the auditorium and headed for the computer lab. The strange signal was getting stronger with each step. Hannah, Do-Yun said as they walked, is this about the war? Is something happening? Hannah stopped and looked at her new friend. She had to tell someone. The Voidborn might be here, at our school. I got a warning last night. Instead of laughing or looking scared, Do-Yun nodded seriously. What can I do to help? Hannah and Do-Yun reached the computer lab. The strange signal was strongest here. What are we looking for? Do-Yun asked, turning on one of the computers. I'm not sure, Hannah admitted, but my implant is picking up a data transmission that doesn't feel human. Doesn't feel human. Is that a technical term? Despite the serious situation, Do-Yun smiled a little. Voidborn tech has a different pattern. It's like, Hannah struggled to explain. It's like they speak a different computer language. Do-Yun's fingers moved quickly across the keyboard. I can check the school network for unusual activity. While he worked, Hannah walked around the room. The signal was getting clearer. It was coming from behind a wall panel. There, she said, pointing. Something's behind that panel. Do-hyun came over and helped her remove the wall panel. Behind it was a small black device, no bigger than a coin. It blinked with a purple light. That's not school equipment, Do-hyun whispered. Hana's heart raced. It's Voidborn, a data collector. What does it collect? Information. Research. The Voidborn want human technology. Hana carefully removed the device. This school is known for science. They must be interested in something here. Do-hyun looked worried. Should we tell someone? The principal? The police? Hana shook her head. Not yet. If there's one device, there might be more. And there might be Voidborn agents watching them. Agents? You mean aliens disguised as humans? Yes, they can look like us now. That's why the war isn't over. Hana put the device in her pocket. I need to send this to Captain Sunwoo. They left the computer lab and found a quiet corner in the hallway. Hana pulled out her military comm unit and sent a message with a picture of the device. Just as she finished, Ju appeared in front of them, arms crossed. What are you two doing? The assembly isn't over. Hana put away her comm unit quickly, but not quickly enough. What is that? Ju asked. Some kind of secret military phone. It's nothing, Hana said. Juwoo's eyes narrowed. You're up to something. Both of you. Do-hyun stepped forward. We're working on our project. Sometimes ideas can't wait. Juwoo didn't look convinced, but at that moment, students began pouring out of the auditorium. The assembly was over. This isn't finished, Juwoo warned before walking away. Minji found them a minute later. Where did you guys go? You missed the whole talk about college entrance exams. Bathroom, Hana and Do-hyun said at the same time. Minji looked at them strangely, but didn't ask more questions. That night, Hana couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the device they had found. What were the Voidborn looking for at the school? Her comm unit beeped at midnight. A new message from Captain Sunwoo. Device e suon firam ed voidborn origin. Stay alert. Search for more. Do not terrorist envoyonen. BQ not avl. You are on your own. Soldier. Hana stared at the message. She was on her own. The military wasn't sending help. That didn't make sense. Unless they thought she was enough. A one-person army. Her phone rang, making her jump. It was a normal call, not on her military channel. The screen showed Do-hyun's name. Hello, she answered. Hana, I've been thinking about that device. Do-hyun's voice was excited. I think I know what the Voidborn are after. What? The quantum physics lab. Professor Kang has been working on a new type of scanner that can detect Voidborn DNA, even when they're disguised as humans. It would change the war. Hana's mind raced. That's it. They want to stop that research. There's more, Do-hyun said. The school is hosting a science competition tomorrow. Researchers from all over the country will be here, including Professor Kang. Tomorrow. Hana felt cold. That's too soon. I need to check the school for more devices before then. I'll help. We can go early. No, Hana said firmly. It's too dangerous. My brother died fighting the Voidborn, Do-hyun reminded her. I'm not sitting this out. After a long pause, Hana agreed. Fine. We'll meet at 7 a.m. Don't tell anyone. As she ended the call, Hana felt something she hadn't felt since the war. Responsibility for someone else's life. She had been a soldier, following orders. Now she had to make the plans herself. And if she failed, Do-hyun might die. Just like her squad mates had died. Hana closed her eyes and tried to push away the memories of her dead friends. Tomorrow would be a different kind of battle. Hana arrived at school at 6:45 a.m. The sun was just rising, and the building was empty except for a few cleaning staff. She waited by the front gate, scanning the area with her implant. At 7 o'clock, Do-hyun arrived with 2 backpacks. "I brought tools," he said, handing her one of the bags. "And breakfast." He pulled out 2 rice rolls. Hannah took one, surprised by the gesture. On the battlefield, soldiers shared food to show trust. "Thanks," she said. "We need to be quick. School opens officially at 8:30. They entered through a side door that Do-hyun knew was always unlocked. The empty halls felt different without students. "Where should we look first?" Do-hyun asked. "The science labs. If they want to stop this scanner research, that's where they'll focus." They moved carefully through the school. Hannah's implant was set to detect any unusual signals. On the 2nd floor, near the advanced physics lab, it started to hum. "There's something here," she whispered. They found 3 more devices like the one from yesterday. Each was hidden behind wall panels or inside air vents. Hannah carefully removed them all. "They're building a network," she explained to Do-hyun. "Mapping the school. Learning our patterns." "For what purpose?" "To find the best time to attack." Do-hyun looked pale. "You really think they'll attack the school?" "If Professor Kang's scanner works, it would expose all void-born agents on Earth. They can't let that happen." They continued searching until they reached the quantum physics lab where Professor Kang worked. The door was locked. "I can't open this," Do-hyun said after trying his student keycard. Hannah pulled a small device from her pocket. Military override. She pressed it against the lock, and the door clicked open. Inside, the lab was full of complex equipment. Screens showed data Hannah didn't understand, but her implant was going crazy, detecting multiple signals. "This place is full of devices," she said. "They're really interested in this room." Do-hyun went to one of the computers and turned it on. "I want to see what Professor Kang is working on." While he searched the computer, Hannah found and removed 6 more void-born devices. Some were attached directly to the lab equipment. "Hannah, look at this." Do-hyun pointed to the screen. "The scanner is real. It uses quantum fields to detect non-human DNA patterns, even when they're trying to hide." "Does it work?" "According to these notes, yes. The first working prototype will be revealed at today's competition." Hannah felt cold. "That's why they're here. They'll try to stop it. We need to tell someone." "Who would believe us?" "A troubled war vet and a science nerd." Hannah shook her head. "We need proof. And we need to protect the professor." They left the lab and continued searching the school. By 8:15, they had found and removed 22 devices in total. "The competition starts at 1:00 p.m., Do-hyun said as other students began to arrive for the school day. "What's our plan?" Before Hannah could answer, they turned a corner and ran into Ju-woo. She was early too, carrying boxes of name tags for the competition. "What are you two doing here so early?" Ju-woo asked, eyes narrow with suspicion. "Project work," Hannah said quickly. "In the whole school?" "I saw you coming out of the quantum lab." Ju-woo put down her boxes. "That room is off limits to students." "We had permission," Do-hyun lied. Ju-woo didn't believe them. "I'm going to report this to Principal Kang." As she turned to leave, the lights in the hallway flickered. Then all the power in the school went out. Emergency lights came on, casting a red glow over everything. Hannah's implant started sending warning signals to her brain. "What's happening?" Ju-woo asked, now looking scared. Hannah's military training kicked in. Power cut. First sign of attack. "Attack? What are you talking about?" A loud explosion shook the building from somewhere near the main entrance. Screams echoed through the halls as early arriving students panicked. "They're here," Hannah said, her voice turning cold and professional. "The Voidborn are making their move." She grabbed both Do-hyun and Ju-woo by their arms. "We need to move. Now." "Move where?" Ju-woo demanded, trying to pull away. "Somewhere safe. Then we find Professor Kang before they do." Hannah looked Ju-woo in the eyes. "This isn't a joke or a drill. The school is under attack by the same aliens I fought in the war." Another explosion rocked the building, this time closer. "Okay," Ju whispered, her face pale. Lead the way. Hannah led Do-Hyun and Ju away from the explosions. Her implant was mapping the safest path through the school. Where are we going? Ju asked, her voice shaking. Science storage room. 3rd floor. Thick walls. 1 entrance. Easy to defend. Defend. Ju looked even more scared. With what? Hannah didn't answer. They climbed the emergency stairs, passing panicked students running the other way. At the 3rd floor, they found the hallway empty. Everyone's trying to get out. Do-Hyun said, shouldn't we do the same? The exits are the first place they'll watch, Hannah explained. And we need to find Professor Kang. They reached the storage room. Hannah checked inside before letting the others enter. The room was full of science equipment and chemicals. She locked the door behind them. We need a plan, she said. And we need to know what we're facing. What we're facing. Ju sat on a stool, trying to stop her hands from shaking. You keep talking like you know what's happening. I do know. Hannah took a deep breath. The Voidborn have infiltrated Earth. They look human now, and they want to stop a new technology that can expose them. That's crazy, Ju whispered. It's true, Do-Hyun said. We found their devices all over the school. They're after Professor Kang's quantum scanner. Ju looked from Do-Hyun to Hannah. If this is true, we need to call the military. I tried. Hannah showed them her comm unit. No signal. They're blocking communications. Another explosion, closer this time, shook the room. Dust fell from the ceiling. What do they want? Ju asked. The scanner prototype and all research data. And, Hannah hesitated, they'll want to eliminate anyone who knows about it. The room went quiet as they all understood what that meant. So what do we do? Do-Hyun finally asked. Hannah's mind went into tactical mode. First, we need weapons. We're in a school. Ju protested. A science school. Hannah started looking through the shelves. Chemistry can be very dangerous. With Do-Hyun's help, she gathered chemicals and lab equipment. Together, they made simple smoke bombs and flash grenades using school supplies. Impressive, Do-Hyun said when they finished. Standard military training. Hannah checked her implant's school map. Now we need to find Professor Kang before they do. How do we know he's even still here? Ju asked. The competition starts at 1 o'clock. He'll be setting up his demonstration. Hannah thought for a moment. He'll be in the main lab or the auditorium. The auditorium is closer, Do-Hyun said. We should check there first. Wait, Ju held up her hand. I'm class president. I have access to the school security system on my phone. She pulled out her phone and opened an app. Despite the power outage, the emergency systems were still working. The app showed security camera feeds from around the school. There, she pointed. The auditorium. The grainy video showed several people setting up equipment on the stage. One of them was Professor Kang. He's still here, Hannah said. But so are they. The camera showed other figures entering the auditorium. They moved wrong. Too smooth, too perfect. Hannah recognized the movement patterns. Those aren't humans, she said. Those are Voidborn soldiers. How do you know? Ju asked. I killed enough of them to know how they move. The three watched in horror as the disguised aliens surrounded the stage. Professor Kang and the other scientists didn't notice the danger yet. We have to help them, Do-Hyun said. With what? Some homemade smoke bombs against alien soldiers. Ju sounded hopeless. Hannah reached into her backpack and pulled out their science project, the miniature shield device they've been working on. We have this, she said. It's not finished, but it might work for a few seconds. And I have these, Do-Hyun added, pulling out small circuit boards. Remote triggers for the smoke bombs. Ju looked at them both, then straightened her shoulders. And I know every inch of this school, all the shortcuts and hidden passages. For the first time since the attack began, Hannah felt a spark of hope. She wasn't alone this time. She had help. "Okay," she said. "Here's the plan. We need to create a distraction," Hannah explained as they prepared. "Then get the professor and his research out safely." Do-hyun finished wiring the remote triggers to their smoke bombs. These will work from up to 50 meters away. Ju-woo spread out a school map on the floor. There's a maintenance tunnel that leads directly under the auditorium. The janitors use it to reach the stage equipment. "Perfect," Hannah said. "Here's the plan. Ju-woo, you'll guide us through the tunnel. Do-hyun and I will place the smoke bombs around the auditorium exits. When we trigger them, the Voidborn will be confused." "Then what?" Ju-woo asked. "Then I go in, grab the professor and the scanner, and we all run." Hannah checked the shield device. The shield might give us a few seconds of protection if we need it. They gathered their supplies and moved out. The school hallways were eerily quiet now. Most students had escaped, but distant sounds of destruction told them the attack continued. Ju-woo led them to a small door near the gym. It opened to reveal a narrow tunnel with pipes running along the ceiling. "This way," she whispered, turning on her phone's flashlight. They crawled through the dusty space. Hannah went first, scanning for threats with her implant. Do-hyun followed with the smoke bombs, and Ju-woo brought up the rear. "Almost there," Ju-woo said after 5 minutes of crawling. "The access panel ahead leads to the storage area under the stage." Hannah reached the panel and listened. She could hear voices above, both human and something not quite human. The Voidborn were good at faking human speech, but their rhythm was always off. "6 Voidborn on stage," she whispered. "They're surrounding the professor and 3 other scientists." "What are they saying?" Do-hyun asked. "They want the scanner and all research data. They're threatening to kill everyone if they don't cooperate." Ju-woo looked terrified but determined. "What do we do?" "Stick to the plan." Hannah handed smoke bombs to Do-hyun. "Place these at the exit points we discussed. I'll take the ones for the main entrance." They split up, moving silently through the darkness beneath the auditorium. Hannah placed her bombs near the main doors, then returned to the meeting point. Minutes later, Do-hyun appeared. "All set," he whispered. "Ju-woo." Hannah looked around. "I haven't seen her since we split up," Do-hyun said. Hannah's heart raced. Had Ju-woo been caught, or had she run away? A scream from above answered her question. Through gaps in the stage floor, they could see movement. Someone was being dragged across the stage. "It's Ju-woo," Do-hyun whispered. They found her. Hannah's mind worked fast. The plan was ruined. They needed a new approach. "Change of plan," she said. "Trigger the bombs now. All of them." Do-hyun pressed the remote. Loud pops echoed through the auditorium, followed by thick smoke pouring from all exits. Confused shouts filled the air. "Stay here," Hannah ordered. She strapped the shield device to her wrist. Before Do-hyun could protest, Hannah climbed through a gap in the stage floor and emerged in the chaos. The smoke gave her cover as she moved toward the center of the stage. Through the haze, she saw Professor Kang and the other scientists huddled together. 2 Voidborn soldiers held Ju-woo, who was struggling against their grip. Hannah's implant activated fully for the first time since the war. Combat mode engage. Her vision sharpened. Time seemed to slow down. Her body moved with enhanced speed and precision. She reached the first Voidborn soldier before it saw her coming. One precise strike to the neck, where their disguise was weakest, sent it crumpling to the floor. The second soldier turned toward her, its human face distorting with rage. It lunged at Hannah with inhuman speed. She dodged, but not fast enough. Its clawed hand, now shedding its human appearance, caught her arm. Pain shot through her, but Hannah ignored it. She activated the shield device. A blue energy field flickered around her for a brief moment, just long enough for her to break free and deliver a powerful kick to the creature's chest. "Professor Kang," she shouted, "we need to leave now." The professor looked shocked, but nodded. He grabbed a small device from the table. the scanner prototype, and shoved it into his pocket. Hannah fought her way to Ju, taking down another void-born soldier. Blood ran down her arm, but her implant was suppressing the pain. I thought I could set a trap for them, Ju explained as Hannah pulled her free. I'm sorry. Apologize later, Hannah said. Run now. Together, they guided the professor and scientists toward the stage floor opening where Do-yeon waited. The smoke was thinning and more void-born soldiers were emerging from the haze. Go, Hannah shouted, pushing them toward safety. I'll hold them off. She turned to face the approaching enemies, ready for what might be her final battle. Hannah faced the approaching void-born soldiers. There were 4 of them, their human disguises failing to hide their true nature. Their skin rippled with an unnatural light, and their movements were too fluid to be human. Just like old times, Hannah whispered to herself. Her implant was fully active now. It calculated attack patterns and identified weak points. The pain from her injured arm faded as combat chemicals flooded her system. The first void-born charge, Hannah dodged and struck at its neck. The second and third attacked together. She spun between them, using their momentum against them. But she was outnumbered. A powerful blow sent her crashing into the stage equipment. The shield device on her wrist sparked and died. The fourth void-born, taller than the others, approached slowly. Its face shifted between human and alien features. The child soldier, it said in a cold voice. We remember you from the Battle of Europa. You killed many of us. Not enough, apparently, Hannah replied, struggling to stand. The void-born raised its hand, now transformed into a sharp claw. Your fight ends here. A loud crash came from behind the alien. Do-yeon stood there, holding a fire extinguisher he had just thrown. Hannah, run, he shouted. The distraction gave Hannah the moment she needed. She lunged forward, ducking under the void-born's arm, and running toward Do-yeon. I told you to escape, she said as they ran through the smoke-filled auditorium. Friends don't leave friends behind, Do-yeon replied. They reached the maintenance tunnel and dropped down into it. They could hear the aliens following them. Where are the others? Hannah asked as they crawled through the narrow space. Safe. Ju led the professor and scientists out through the gym. They had the scanner. At least the mission was partly successful. If the professor escaped with the scanner, the Voidborn's plan had failed. They reached the end of the tunnel and emerged near the gym. The exit doors were just ahead. Freedom was close. Then the wall beside them exploded. Debris filled the air. Hannah pushed Do-yeon out of the way, but the blast knocked her down. Her head hit the floor hard. The world went fuzzy. Through blurred vision, she saw the tall Voidborn step through the hole in the wall. It reached for her with its clawed hand. A voice cut through the ringing in her ears. Get away from her. Ju stood in the hallway, holding a fire hose. She turned the valve, and a powerful stream of water hit the Voidborn. The creature screamed as the water disrupted its disguise. Do-yeon ran to Hannah and helped her up. We need to move. Now. Ju kept the hose trained on the alien as they backed toward the exit. Then a familiar sound filled the air. Military transports. They burst through the exit doors to find the school surrounded by Earth Defense Force vehicles. Soldiers in combat gear rushed forward, weapons ready. Captain Sunwoo stood at the front, his scared face grim. Soldier Park, report. Voidborn infiltration team. At least 6 confirmed. They were after Professor Kang's scanner. Sunwoo nodded. The professor is safe. His scanner works. It's already identified 3 Voidborn agents among the evacuated students. He looked at Do-yeon and Ju. Who are they? My team, Hannah said firmly. They fought with me. Medics took Hannah to treat her injuries. As they bandaged her arm, she watched the military secure the school. The Voidborn threat had been contained, at least for now. Do-yeon and Ju sat nearby, talking quietly with a military officer. Despite everything, they looked stronger than before. The experience had changed them. just as war had changed Hannah. 3 weeks later, Hannah walked back through the school gates. The damage had been repaired, and classes had resumed. This time, students didn't look away when they saw her. Some nodded in greeting. Others smiled. Do-Yun waited for her by the science lab, ready to finish our project. Ms. Yum gave us an extension. The shield device, Hannah asked. It didn't work very well in the fight. It worked long enough, Do-Yun said. And now we know how to make it better. In the classroom, Ju was organizing a welcome back event for the students. When she saw Hannah, she came over. The class president position is a lot of work, she said. I could use a vice president who knows how to handle tough situations. Hannah was surprised. You want me to help lead the class? Why not? You saved the school. You saved me. Ju offered her hand. Partners. Hannah took it. Partners. As she sat down in class, Hannah realized something important. The war had taken much from her, but it had also given her strength. Now she could use that strength not just to fight, but to build and protect. Here, among friends who had seen her at her worst and still stood by her, Hannah Park had finally found a place to belong.